Otherwise, many of the apps which they are using, and we are not they can immediately call something called as VPN, which we are not aware of. So this, when it comes to virtual privacy,
In a state of taking a depression tablet, just because one of our friend has 20k followers,
yeah.
but she has only 5k followers.
At a time when the Karnataka government is considering a first-of-its-kind ban on social media for children under 16, the conversation around digital boundaries is more urgent than ever. For schools, the question isn't just about control, but about responsibility, balance, and long-term impact. Good afternoon and a warm welcome. You're watching Education News Network. I'm your host, Nitya Krishnamurthy. And today we bring to you an important discussion. Ban or balance? Should schools control students' social media use? Joining us are two eminent educators. Our first panelist is Ms. Dorcus Preethi, the principal of KMV Red Hills Senior Secondary School, Bangalore. Welcome, ma'am. We also have with us Ms. Praveena Premdas, principal of East West Academy, Bangalore. A warm welcome to you as well, and thank you both for joining us today. So to begin, I'd like to invite Ms. Dorcus Preethi. Ma'am, could you please tell us what is your view on the social media ban for kids under 16 in Karnataka, and where should schools draw the line between guidance and control when it comes to the social media use of students?
Firstly, a big hi to all. And talking about social media, we are sitting at the tech capital of India. Most of the platforms what we are going to discuss about, all the social media is actually been built here.
Right.
So we are sitting in the capital city of the tech, and we are discussing about how do we ban it or control it. Okay, so instead of stating be it ban or control, okay, we can talk about how do we guide them so that they could handle it better. So I have been teaching past 18 years, and out of my experience with the changing schooling which happens, be it before COVID or after COVID, or the change in technology and AI taking over it, so now it is definitely the most important topic we are discussing about, because the moment you say control, the moment you say ban, there is a restriction. Okay, there is definitely a restriction at the child when you're going to say, okay, I'm going to ban this. If you are going to use this word ban, they are going to find out something which is going to be sophisticated. You and me will not know.
So they kind of become rebellious also.
Yes, and they're going to start finding out private platforms which you will not know.
Right.
If you're going to say no WhatsApp, they're going to go to Signal.
Yes.
Okay, if you're going to say no Insta, they're going to get into lots more.
Right.
Instead, let us, support them, understand and guide them. So how do we do it? We are so fortunate that we are in Bangalore. Again, we are talking about the tech capital. So we have parents, majority of our parents in fact are working for Google, Microsoft, Infosys, Wipro.
Right.
So in that way, it becomes easy for us to talk to these parents, to become a brand ambassador, to come talk to the children how these addictive designs are being done. There are, all these apps are an addiction.
Correct.
Okay, but how and when and how is that this is being designed? So let's call those parents, talk to them about consequences. Better if you're going to be for this many hours, this is what is going to be the consequence.
Right.
If you're going to be on this app, this might happen. You're going to use your Insta, you're going to be, okay, you're going to use this particular app, okay, and because I can't even name the apps.
Yeah.
I can't even name because I am sitting in a place where I'm surrounded with all these people who are producing it for the world.
Right.
So I can't even use. So therefore I'm going to say better you're going to use this app. Okay, and these are the consequences. One is you're going to become addicted towards it, and most of it are fake there. Most of it are fake. Right? These are only content which has been created for you to become addictive. So for that purpose, I would have to call somebody and I have to tell them, okay, please explain the logarithm in it. Because whatever math I teach, I'm going to teach linear equation, I'm going to teach quadratic equation, yes, that, but before that I'm going to speak about the algorithm in it. That is what is most important. So we have to guide them beyond textbook. So of course, this is a continuous process. It will not happen a day where I'm going to conduct a workshop and say, children, these all are the consequences, please I'm going to ban it and I'm going to control it. No, the controlling is not going to happen. Instead, I have to follow up, I should guide them, I should support them, and this become an integral part of our academics. Just like I have a science, physics period, chemistry period, in a week I should have a period called as social awareness. So how ethical you could be there and become intellectual about using of these apps. I can't say you're not going to control, you're not going to use it. I have to only say be ethical and control. There's something called as self-monitoring which the children have to learn. It's about we are going to educate them on how they can utilize these and how they can how they can use it. So this is what I am supposed to do. So I would say yes, ban, definitely impossible, because that is where we are in. Control, yes, to whatever extent I can, because many times parents come and tell us, ma'am, if you tell it, okay, if you tell it in your way, okay, definitely the children might listen to us. So in that way, a continuous follow-up which is going to happen, just not one or two workshop. And most of the time we say, let's bring awareness in parents. Parents are the one who are actually senior most people in those centers, and they are the one who are creating this. And now they come to us and say, ma'am, reduce the screen time. Okay, so in that way, I would say we will be able to control to certain extent with all these awareness. We will create an awareness in the children talking about the consequence, and we will give them tips how to control and how to be intellectual in using these apps. So this is all I think as a
and
principle.
Also the privacy breach aspect also needs to be brought in.
Yes, definitely. Otherwise, many of the apps which they are using, and we are not they can immediately call something called as VPN, which we are not aware of. So this, when it comes to virtual privacy, even before we spell it, they know to create. Because many times they even tell us about VPN, about the place they can change in, and the identity could be changed. So in that way, I think we will be able to support them and guide them continuously. So as a school, we have been always educating them with a lot of subjects. Now this become a subject to us. So yeah, this also becomes a subject. Yes. Only then I can create great citizens. Correct. Where they become socially responsible. And to say, okay, this is, instead of me telling, okay, after 9 or 10, you're not going to use a mobile. Instead of me telling why they're not supposed to use, because they need some time to intellectually grow. So they need some time to study, some time for their exercises, sometimes for their physical activities, and where they draw a line and say, okay, this is enough, I'm going to use these apps, I'm going to use these social medias. More than ChatGPT, we have Claude AI and a lot of things. So they are going to gain knowledge and to be ethical in usage of it. So the more you're going to ban, the more they're going to hide.
Absolutely.
So let's grow organic.
Right, I agree. Thank you. So, Ms. Praveena, Premdas, coming to you, do bans on social media within school environments actually work, or do they push usage into less supervised and potentially riskier spaces?
When we talk about this ban again, as Madam already said, parents play a very vital role, because ours is the first generation users of this digital platform. Unfortunately, we were not that responsible when we were using it in front of the kids. So that is where all it started. The starting point of all these things were literally because of the parental usage. Now, bringing in the parents into the school, bringing them awareness is the first point where ban is never a solution, because the study tells that ban of any social media or the digital networking within the age group of 16 brings in metacognitive tools unawareness. So it's a very new word. The digital world is, or the students are hearing itself. So the cognitive development in children comes down very rapidly because there is no running away. We'll give a small example for this. Now heavy rain is coming. So we can't stop the weather, we can't stop the rain. So obviously what we have to do is we have to teach them how to use a raincoat or how to put a shelter or where they can stay safe. The same strategy is being now adaptive for the social media. Now it is already so deeply rooted. Our motto or our, as a first generation users, I can use a word, very interesting word called as digital sanskar. That is what we have to infuse inside the school. So to the parents, we can have a talk with the parents stating that the bedtime awareness for the screen. So that is 9 a.m. All the mobiles will go into the kitchen or the place where the kids or the parents are not using it. Because first we have to showcase them. They are just mirror work for whatever we are.
You've got a model behavior.
Yes, you be a model, you surrender your phone first, then your kids are going to follow it for sure. That is one thing. Secondly, it is like the kids, okay, I am doing it at my house, but my friend is free enough to use the mobile till 2 o'clock. Then again, it becomes a sense of parenting mean. They call it as, my parents are very cringe. That is a word they use very often. Boomer. Yeah, very true.
I'm learning new words today.
So now because our generation were called as Gen Z, now it has turned into Gen Alpha. So we have to be updated. So keeping all this thing in mind, if a group of parents of might be a class of 30 is agreeing to do this in their house, then from only me to it turns to everyone is doing it. So then it doesn't become an compulsion, it becomes an habit. So in this way we can regularize it, or instead of the word ban, because anything which we use it as restriction will go into secrecy. That becomes still more problematic in this generation, because the secrecy or the privacy, the kids, it is like unmonitored children on the main road of a traffic.
That's a lot worse. Yes.
So infuse or collaborate the parents into it, make them more responsibly use the mobile. We can say 3 gateway system for that. First thing, is it true? The child should analyze whether whatever I am doing, is it true? Is it kind? And is it beneficial? So if we are able to inculcate all these things in the children's mind about the use of social media, then this can be turned into a productive use than the whatever we call as a time pass or addiction. Because I don't want to use certain kid's name. A child in India who is using the social media from the age of 4. If you just see the talk the child gives in the social media is majorly about the mythology of India, the Indian history. The child talks so confidently and gives out messages or informations about the unseen India, which happens nearly 1500 years ago or 2000 years ago. We can understand the responsibility or the digital intelligence or the digital literacy which played the vital role there. Instead of the child is being taken away from the social media is now the tool for intelligence. Because the child comes in front of the social media and talks about it, obviously the child will get the information first, then talk. So instead of ban, we can literally, the schools have to adopt digital sanskar and make it more responsible.
Right. Absolutely agree. I love this concept of digital sanskar and the things you said about being true, kind and beneficial, asking students that question. Alright, so Ms. Preethi, what roles should schools play in teaching digital responsibility and how can this be integrated into everyday learning?
Oh, wonderful. Okay. When it comes to schooling, it's like, yes, of course, we teach a lot of math, physics, chemistry, but of course, one of the period is of course something called as value education.
Right.
We had general knowledge, we have financial literacy. So when we talk about value is something is not something become a cringe or outdated. It's talking about respecting each other, being more humanitarian. Okay, we're talking about what discipline can lead us to, and why should we be obedient. So these values to be first incorporated. These values are not something which is outdated. We are definitely, we have all those updated subjects. We do have AI, we have IT, all the subjects are there. Apart from that, we are integrating with values, because that is what is most important now. Being and to have humanity, to be courteous, okay. Curiosity of course will grow, but first thing is learning to be that courtesy to have within you. So in that way, if anybody is going to meet with an accident, we are not going to take selfies along with it. Okay, we're not going to keep posting and updating our status or to get more likes. Instead, we are going to see what to be done. So first thing is teaching them values, okay, and making it more strong in a school level. So if in case, if I'm going to increase, like if I'm going to make values even more stronger in the school level, and obviously the child is going to learn to be ethical, be it at their residence or at school or even on digital media. On digital media, he is automatically going to be responsible, because he knows how to respond, because now digital ethics is very important. You should know how to respond, you should know how to respect, okay, you should always be responsible. So in that way, now educating them, making them literate towards social media or these digital content is more important. In that way, I feel the most important is at the school level, because I cannot ban, because I can do it only till 3 p.m. After 3 p.m. it is in the self-control of the child, because the parent can't keep monitoring. As ma'am told, if you're going to monitor, if you're going to micro-monitor, if you're going to get into their privacy, they will make it even more private.
Exactly.
And that is going to be dangerous. Right. Because they're going to use an app which nobody is going to be aware, and they're definitely going to land in a lot of danger more situation. Instead, I'm going to teach at school level, we will teach them more of values. We will teach them how to integrate to be more ethical, and how we will teach them about the usage and their boundaries. We will teach them this. At home, obviously their parents are going to monitor, okay, and the child will also become self-responsible. See, more than any one of us monitoring them, instead of putting a camera beside them, if you're going to give values to them, if they understand the consequence, they are going to become self-responsible. So they are going to in fact educate others about it, okay, because their peer learning is more important. Instead of we telling that, they are going to listen to their peers. That's going to happen. So therefore they'll become more responsible over there. In that way, I feel more of integration from the school. I just don't mean as school, I mean as society. I'm very responsible as a society. So from the society, from their parents, from their peers, and when they become highly responsible, they will know their usage. Because as ma'am said, of course, they are becoming very intellectual because of the social media. They are becoming intellectual. Because we have 4 kind of learners. We have visual learners, auditory learners, kinesthetic learners. In that way, visual learners are important. And when they are going to get world knowledge, that is so awesome. We are not going to restrict them from telling, no, you're not going to get all these world knowledge, you're going to only get into your books. They should know to differentiate what is real and what is AI. So for that, they have to have these exposures, but they should know where to draw the line. So we are as a society, we are very responsible about it. Be the school, the parents, the society, the friends, and all of them together. When we work together and when we integrate this value in them, they become so responsible, they will take it forward. So we don't have to, put a timetable and say, this is your usage time. They will know themselves when to use and how to use. Instead of being on, these games, okay, there are a lot of fire games and all that, and they're so addicted to it. Entire day they are over there. Instead of we telling them don't do this, and there are a lot of students who are using these games, and they use their parents' UPI to pay for it. Right? There are a lot of students who are doing it. So instead, when we are going to talk to them, when the father says, okay, let's go to the nearest turf, and the child says, another half an hour I'm going to play this, and then 1 hour I'm going to come to the turf. So when we are going to integrate, when the child is able to express himself, when he's able to express and say, this is not bad, this is also one of a boon for us. AI is a boon. Social media to connect all over the world, to understand what is happening, is definitely a boon. That is why we are learning history. Nothing is very new. Whatever happened in our previous, however our kings behaved, we are going to, just follow them. And we are going to utilize those knowledge. So therefore, this AI and all this social media is a boon. But how do we use it? How much do we use it? How is it going to be? How would we make it to our advantage? So in that way, I feel from the school we will do the values. We will ensure the students have all the knowledge about the social media, have all knowledge about the technology. So because if they are going to know all the knowledge about it, they will know their usage. They will know how to utilize it.
Inculcating the ownership and
Exactly.
responsibility
They
is what is the
obviously they own it, and they become very responsible about it. In that way, I think we can achieve it together.
You both spoke about the importance of educators and parents being equally responsible. So on that note, I'd like to ask Ms. Praveena, how can schools collaborate with parents to create a consistent and healthy approach to students' social media habits?
Wonderful question. So again, everything starts from home. There is a very popular saying, village is needed for growing up a child. In India in general they tell.
Yes.
So now that village is parent, school and the digital world. Now kids use the word called as, I have social anxiety. I can get connected with thousands of people through social media, but I cannot go into a crowd and just talk with physical people. So that gap has been built. Now bringing in parents. So because half the way we do it, the other half has to be done by the parents. Because till 3:30, whatever it is, school can have a look over the digital literacy, but after they go home, they enter the house, mama is sitting scrolling the mobile, papa comes from the office, asks for a cup of coffee, no time for anything else, he receives the coffee with the other hand in the mobile. So this is where everything starts. The kid is now growing seeing all these things. Very unfortunately, the nursery kids doesn't even know what is the taste of the food they have. Parents usually come talk to us stating that my child liked this food very much. The child eats at home and completes it, the complete lunch, but at school it is not happening.
Because there's no mindfulness at home while eating.
The child doesn't know the taste because the child is completely involved in something else, in the screen. So when the parent is given the awareness, involve the children in productive usage of social media. Say for example, okay, instead of we being the instructor, we can be a student in front of your children. So the parent can be given that awareness. Ask them, okay, how to get a tutor for example, an organic farming. The child comes, sits near you and starts explaining. That is the rightest time you can talk about the fake news spreading or the bad things, what all is happening in social media. So the child comes out with his or her experience about the peer group, about the friend. They talk openly, then exactly is that how we get to know what all the child is facing a problem in the social media. When we go to their generation, then we can understand them better. So what schools can give awareness? Okay, every 2 months once, anyhow we will be conducting a PTM. Instead of regular PTM where only the marks in the academics has been discussing, teacher is the rightest person. Okay, a child is coming to the school, first period, the child looks very tired. The child who was very extrovert, all of a sudden became very introvert, gloomy. The teacher can just have a talk with the child. 90% it will be the cyberbullying. Might be they are having a WhatsApp group. They are bullying each other for a smallest reason which would have happened in school or outside the school. So these kind of the things only can be observed in the school, and this can be discussed during the PTM sessions with the parents, where the parents are given the awareness what is the effect of the home screen timing happening in the school. The child becoming introvert in school, because this is most of the time not observed at home, because after going home they are busy in their academics, tuitions, mobiles, all those things. But at school, the teacher on everyday basis observe that the child is looking very tired or sleepy in the very first period. So what might be the reason? The only reason might be the night the child did not have a good sleep. So here we can get involved the parents, we can call, a counselor can talk to the parents and have a counseling session for the children or the child to know what is exactly happening, why this is happening, all the scenarios, so that in general the parents get the awareness beyond academics or beyond subject, as madam was telling, discipline. So discipline in social media, discipline in digital learning, or discipline through the mobile, the smallest screen available now with lots of world knowledge in it. How can we use it usefully without hazarding the health as well as the societal responsibility? So this can be done as a counseling session in every PTM for the parents, giving the awareness about what is happening to their child. This will bring out a very good collaboration as well as the parents' responsibility, like our first generation who have brought in this digital media inside can become more responsible, though next generations definitely will follow whatever footsteps.
If I could just add on to it, we have few parents who are the senior most designers of all these apps. So we got a chance to get them and to talk about what are these addictive designs, the algorithm behind it, and what are these addictive designs. So the parents themselves have explained us with what motive and intention it is being done. So when the parents, when they themselves tell it out and they could realize what they have been doing it. And in this way, the parents are able to actually have the self-realization and also to spread this awareness among students. So this is one activity which we have done. So there are a lot of, because we are in IT, okay, we are an IT capital. So most of the parents who are designing it, most of them are involved in it, most of them who are senior most managers or executives who are involved in this process can definitely come down to our schools, conduct free workshops, talk to the children about the awareness and why they are creating these apps and with what intention it has been created. So definitely parents only can be a great support for us, because we are definitely teachers, but parents who can definitely support us on this.
Right. So, Ms. Praveena, you touched upon cyberbullying and all of that. So, you believe that educators need to identify these and then collaborate with parents to discuss this?
Very, very, very need of the hour, we can say. Right. Cyberbullying.
Correct. And what about comparison anxiety, which is another huge thing these days, very prevalent?
Very recently, a very curious case I read through in an educational article. A child was in a state of taking a depression tablet just because one of her friend has 20k followers, but she has only 5k followers. Really, it made me think for 10 minutes, oh my God, where are we even heading?
You're talking about a small school going child.
Yes, a very small school going child. It was an article which I read through.
Yeah.
You can just imagine a child who even tried to end certain things of her life just because the child is not having the follower as her friend. So where are we heading then? Where is that comparison? Might be in our generation we had comparison for the marks, the well behavior, but now the comparison is how many likes we got. Okay, let it put it, why we will put it on students itself. Okay. The study tells that in 1 hour, an average adult turns the mobile screen at least for 20 to 25 times. Whether a notification comes or doesn't come, you're sitting watching the TV, the mobile is in front of you. It is like you'll just see, keep it, just see, keep it. So this is the study tells that an adult who is educated, who is working, who is so-called very responsible is not able to be without touching the mobile at least on average for 20-25 times, but we are expecting a 16-year-old child to be so very responsible to get away with this most attractive thing. Because this is like the world is open. Whatever you put, you are getting a comment, you are getting a like, oh, you are looking very beautiful, your voice is looking this. The appreciation is an addiction.
The need for validation constantly. Yes.
That we doesn't get at home. We are not getting from our peer group. Some stranger is giving it to me. I feel so proud about myself. We have a very beautiful word called as spotlight syndrome.
Yes.
Now we can see in the kids that spotlight syndrome.
Right.
I'm the spotlight. I want to be the spotlight. It may be the strangers or it may be whatnot. So it is like collaborating the children on every week basis, as madam was telling. Instead of just having a talk or cause and pros, we play certain videos. Might be the latest viral videos. Ask them to write an analyzation sheet for that. The child comes out with lot of things. Might be how or what. This is where this bullying we bring in. How you can comment or react shows how cultured you are. Because that is what we have been brought up in our Indian culture, Aditi Devo Bhava. Right. That is, whomever you are addressing, you address with respect. That respect is not there in the social media just because that person is not right in front of you. So when we are able to just bring this analysis sheet from the student themselves, they go through the analysis sheet and only one question we put in front of them is whether this comment you can put it in front of your grandparents. That is where the child understand the responsibility of the words. They start thinking, yes, whatever I'm posting or whatever I'm commenting on others, can I show it to my elders? Then this bullying will come down. They become more responsible. The usage of words, what we call it, the usage of words, the words have the biggest power. That comes down with lot of responsibilities.
Right, absolutely. So, Ms. Preethi, my last question to you is that we're living in a world right now where social media is deeply tied to identity, like we just spoke about, and communication. So, is it realistic or even beneficial for schools to attempt control among students? Have you seen a positive impact?
So there was a studies from France which says they went for a lot of control and ban. So when this happened, when there was ban or control, they could control only in one sector of society. It was mentioned only in the lower middle class and the bottom middle class.
Yes.
Only there they could control and they could see some improvement in their academics, but not the entire class. Right, the entire class you cannot. So only thing is controlling. Okay, controlling the word means that what is that band or control we are going to bring on them.
Yeah.
Okay, so first when this France, after their report, they just generated and they said controlling will not help us to shape their character. Controlling will not help us to shape their character or their habits. Okay, controlling is temporary. Okay, it's just a temporary process where we can feel successful that we have control, but it is a temporary process where during the temporary process students are finding various other methodologies or techniques to become even more technological. So in that way, be it control or be it ban is a little impossible for us to get in at this era of these Gen Z kids, because these Gen Z kids are far more intellectual than us. Because as ma'am mentioned, from their very young age, they have a lot of exposure. So they have a lot of exposure on technology, about world, about people. So they're already aware of a lot of things. So in
Information
that,
overload.
yeah, they are overloaded. They are overloaded with emotions. They're overloaded with knowledge. They're overloaded with informations. Lot of data is with them. So therefore, when it comes to controlling or ban, instead, as I said, let's draw a lot of guidelines to them, support them, monitor them, and then always, we have to give them their space to express. So what, as ma'am said, whenever a parent comes home or something, like how much are they connected, instead at school we have a lot of activities, because it's only that 15 periods we teach. In fact 15 periods only we teach in a week. Now the 15 periods goes with lot of CCA periods. There's a dance period, music period, football, cricket, basketball, whatnot. There are a lot of activities which keep them physically supportive, which keeps them physically entertained. Okay, now this period of 8 to 3 we are highly responsible to keep them highly entertained. Schools have become a place of high entertainment, because as we were discussing, the concentration span has reduced after COVID. So to keep them entertained, it has to be like a Bahubali movie.
True.
Okay, so you have to present your class in such a way, every minute you have to keep them entertained. It has to be so attractive. We have digital class, we have charts, models, activities, lot of things going on. 40 minutes is broken down as only 3 minutes for introduction, 15 minutes only for explanation, and then 3 minutes for visual learning, that is you have to show a video, and then there is an activity. So completely, as NEP says, we are completely activity based learning. So till 3 we are highly responsible. Okay, so and also till 3 we are teaching them their values, their responsibility. We are doing it. After that, it is the child who is going to become highly responsible and to have self-control. And parents play a major role. That's what ma'am was talking about. Parents play a very major role, because what we tell the parents is a place for everything. Your TV has a place. Fridge, the refrigerator has a place. Washing machine has a place. This is also a gadget. At home, you should have a place. Every time you get a call, you have to walk from the kitchen and come take it and see who's calling you, who's sending you a message. Instead of you going to carry it, you're carrying it to you're carrying it to the kitchen while you're cooking, you're carrying it to the bedroom, you're carrying it to the restroom. So tomorrow your child is going to do it. And don't keep knocking the door and asking what are you doing with the mobile. No, that is going to be too late. Yeah. Right. So then you can't go check his phone. He deletes his history and he comes out.
Right.
Yeah. So everybody knows what is Chrome, what is everything. Okay. So therefore, it's of no use. Instead, what I would say, there is a place for everything. This is a gadget and a very useful gadget. Right. Keep it in a place.
Use it in the right way.
Yes. Walk and come, use it. Even if you're at home, even though you're tired, those times we had something called as changing the channels in TV. So every time we used to get up, have some physical activity. Now what are we doing? We are sleeping with it, we get up with this. So therefore there is, the physical activity is reduced, obesity, and when you're obese, obviously the blood flow is reducing. Obviously the oxygen supply is reducing. Everything is connected. So this we tell the children. There is not going to be good blood flow, there is not going to be oxygen supply, and because of this, your thinking, everything restricts. That is why you are not able to concentrate. Instead, lot of physical activity is required. Keep it in a place. We instruct this to the parents. There should be a place for the mobile at home, for everyone. So every time you are in bedroom, you are in kitchen, walk and come, run and come, pick it, use it, keep it, and then go back. If you're cooking, reduce the flame, come, use it and go.
Like
I don't know.
We used to have landlines.
Landline, exactly. So this might be a little tedious in the beginning. This might be like, impractical. Parents might feel, oh ma'am, how is it practical to keep a place? Try it. For everything you got to try. Because many times when we all start with gym, I go to cult, one day we do it, 2 days we do it, third day we feel so tired. So everybody does this. Okay, but now let us together take it very seriously. As you said, you mentioned in the beginning, this is an emergency period.
Right.
This is an emergency period because this is how it is going to shape our next future, our next generation.
Right.
If our generation has to be responsible, this is also the most important topic. So it's not about just revising the textbook. It's not about revising the school. It's not about revising the policies. It's about making the children understand how responsible are you. Instead of I'm going to tell you, I'm going to ban it. Okay, instead I'm going to tell them, I am going to love you, I'm going to trust you, but become socially responsible, and we being supportive to them, following up with them, one day where they'll become highly responsible. Otherwise, when they come to PUC, okay, the usage will be so much because it is something very new for them. So I feel if I have to wind up in a nice way, we are in a crucial time. This is why we had NEP, we had why the emergency of NEP came up. It was because we are looking at how our future is going to be. So how our future is going to be. So our students are our future, because India is going to become the most populated country in the world, and but that is going to be really nice, because the biggest resource is human resource. We are going to have the highest population of youngsters in the world. So therefore, that is the biggest resource. How are we going to utilize this resource? Our students are going to be our resource. So to utilize this resource, we have to start training them, making them socially responsible, teaching them about the usage. Teaching them about the usage is so important. With that, I think we'll definitely become the most happening country in the world.
I would like
Absolutely
just
agree. Yes.
want to just add one point to this. As the social media is going to become an identity of a person, if we are able to make the students understand this during our career guidance program, any company now hiring, okay, lot of interviews principals will be taking. A person comes and approaches, obviously we'll be checking through their social media post, their videos, that shows what kind of person you are.
Yeah.
So in the career guidance program, if we are able to make the students understand your post is becoming your identity, this is what your career is going to be checked with, or your future life partner or your future life people will be checking through all the social media. Like in previous generation, people used to check calling to the companies. Now all those things are not happening. Reference itself is social media. If we are able to make the students understand through the career guidance program, might be an HR department, people are coming and talking about how they background check the people. I think that will make the students more responsible about each post or each thing they put in the social media.
That's a very important point. Thank you so much. And I like that Ms. Preethi spoke about the physical health as well. So this brings us to the end of today's panel discussion. Thank you both for those insightful perspectives.
Thank you for inviting us.
Pleasure was ours.
So the answer may not lie in choosing between a ban or complete freedom, but in creating a balanced, informed and collaborative approach. As digital spaces continue to shape young minds, the role of schools alongside parents becomes more critical than ever. We hope you enjoyed today's panel discussion. Thank you for watching Education News Network. For more such videos, do visit our channel, theenn.com, and make sure to like, share, comment and subscribe. For now, signing off, this is Nitya Krishnamurthy.